Welcome, Bitcoin fam, to the number one Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin hovering at 109.3 shy, a price discovery. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. Also, breaking news, 21 CEO Jack Mallers says his company could raise billions and buy 1 million BTC. Supply shock? Send it. We'll also be discussing Pakistan crypto chief says Bitcoin price will hit 500,000 minimum this year. I repeat, minimum. He says countries will have to adopt it, sending the bitty price higher. Precisely, according to Giga Chad Mikey Saylor. The only thing better than Bitcoin is more Bitcoin. That's right. Also, Trump's use of presidential seal at the meme coin event raises legal questions. Oh no. Also, similar scientific boosts Bitty Holdings with their $50 million purchase. Also, big news, Texas governor signals support for the Bitcoin reserve bill. And also, Bitcoin ETFs post 2.75 billion in weekly inflows as the price sits above, currently around 109. And also, breaking news, Hyperliquid trader James Wynn goes all in on his $1.25 billion Bitcoin long with 40x leverage. He also says Bitcoin's going to 121,000 next week. Happy Sat Stacking Saturday. All this, plus so much more in today's show. If you're new to the channel, important, smash the likes, go ahead, subscribe, ring the bell. The lizard people hate that sound of the gong, gong, gong. But anyways, today is pod episode 2001. I'm your host, JV. It's May 24th, 2025. Happy Sat Stacking Saturday. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. Yeah, Bitcoin just recaptured 109 at the time of the live stream. We have XRP in a green, BNB in a green, Ether flatline on the day, Solana, Cardano, Tron, and the bulk of the alt market correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at $3.42 trillion. Bitcoin market cap, $2.165 trillion. 101 billion worth of volume in the past 24 hours. And we have a Bitcoin dominance back on a rise, 63.2%, with the Ether dominance at 9%. Even. And even McGeven, that is. Not Steven, but even McGeven. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, we got Helium leading the pack of 5%, followed by Hyperliquid. And speaking of Hyperliquid, we're going to be discussing the OG trader with the 1.25 40x long right now. And Aave is up 2%, but very modest gains in the grand scheme of things, considering the bulk of the market's correcting right now and in the red. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we'll get a visual perspective. Let's start on the day and we'll work our way back. I'd say maybe 85% of the market in the red today. And zooming out on the weekly, we'll flip it, 85% in the green. And zooming out for the monthly, very similar, maybe 90% of the market in the green overall. Pretty bullish for the past maybe 7 weeks. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index, today we're 66. Greed yesterday 78, extreme greed last week 74, and last month 63. And checking out the infamous time chain calendar. We're currently on block number 151,844. I'm sorry, that's how many blocks until the next halving, of course, in 2028. We're actually on block, the big number you see on your screen, 898,156. We're soon going to be at block height 1.1 million. I can smell it. And you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 918 sats. So pick up the sats, put down the gats, pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. And if you don't know, now you know. Will Bitcoin bulls secure 110 before the Bitcoin 13.8 billion worth of options expiry? Let's break her down, shall we? Bitcoin's approaching its largest monthly options expiry of the year, with a total exposure reaching 13.8 billion. This event gives the bulls a chance to secure Bitcoin's price above 110, as bears were cut off guard by a 25% rally over the past 30 days. Not too shabby. The open interest of the Bitcoin put option stands at 6.5 billion, but 95% of those positions are set below 109. Therefore, if Bitcoin's price holds near the current levels, less than 350 million worth of the put options will remain relevant at expiry. Conversely, the open interest in Bitcoin options up to 109,000 totals 3.8 billion. Still, this imbalance does not mean every call option hodler was betting on the bitty rise. Some traders may have sold these options as a way to hedge their exposure above certain price levels, and amongst the most significant option strategies traded at Deribit in the past 2 weeks is the infamous short call. Shout out short coin, by the way, which is often used by investors seeking a fixed income return as long as the Bitcoin price stays above a particular threshold. Similarly, the bull call spread strategy hedges against the downside risk by sacrificing the gains above a certain price. So Bitcoin maintains above 109. Ironic enough, the exact level we're at the time of this live stream. The most bullish strategy should deliver positive results in the May options expiry, so we're looking good in the hood. However, the bears may try to influence the bitty futures markets to limit their losses as the expiry date fast approaches. The total open interest in the Bitcoin futures is currently 79 billion, showing strong demand for the short position. Still, this strategy could backfire if Bitcoin rises above 110, as the bears might be forced to close their positions. Net inflows of 1.9 billion into the US Bitcoin ETFs, which we'll dive into deeper a little later in the stream. There's been a lot of volume, which is another good indicator. But anyways, I'm not going to break down all the targets for the likes and the puts, but bottom line, new all-time highs in play. We're only 3K shy of price discovery. Now for some breaking news before we pull up some of the bitty charts. 21 CEO Jack Mallers says his company could raise billions of dollars to buy 1 million Bitcoin. That's what's up. Supply shock a coming, and they have the means to do so. I mean, it's backed by the likings of Cantor Fitzgerald, multi-billion-dollar asset management giant, as well as what's it called, Tether. Last I looked, their market cap was literally like north of 150 billion. But don't take my word for it. Let's look at coin market cap and let's verify. Currently, the Tether market cap, yep, $152 billion. With a B, bitty B, that is. And if you don't know, now you know. Yeah, but for some other breaking news, 500,000 minimum Pakistan crypto chief. And there's no high chief quite like Nipinator, so give it up for Nip. But this guy says the bitty price will hit 500 minimum this year. The countries will have to adopt and go higher. Let me know if you agree, disagree with the Pakistani chief. Hey now. And Mikey Saylor made this post earlier today. The only thing better than Bitcoin, more Bitcoin. Precisely. And shout out Max Kaiser. I remember when he did this infamous interview with Daniela Campone of Stansberry Research, and Daniela was so fucking skeptical of Max and Bitcoin. I'll never forget it. Bitcoin like crashed from like 69 to 16,000 at the time of the interview. And you can just see the disgust in her face around Max's target and belief in Bitcoin. And so long story short, who else would like to see a new 2025 Bitcoin round of discussion with Max and Daniela? She ultimately said, Max, when we hit the 222,000 target or 220, whatever it may be, she'll do another interview. I say they do the interview sooner than later. I know Max reposted this. Let me know if you'd like to see a new interview with Daniela Cambone and Max Kaiser. And if you missed this one, it is a fucking classic. I highly encourage you to check it out. It's great. But anyways, let's pull up some of the live charts, do a little live chart action. Jackson Satisfaction, Tony Braxton, shall we? How many of you remember Tony Braxton? That's a throwback for you. I remember Bo Jackson as well. Bo knows all. Remember he did like the tri-sports? You should be able to see live and on your screen. Bitcoin 1 hour chart. We do have a bitty target. I think 116, I dare say. Yep. Same as yesterday. Bullish pennant. 116.3 on the 1 hour live chart. Live chart action. Jackson for the broskies. Zooming out a little further from here. We check out a 4 hour. Quattro. You can see here we're having a nice little run here today in the 4 hour. Green target. Also sitting pretty at 116. Bullish pennant, 116.3, all-time high. Price discovery again. The bulls are saying this is going to happen next week, or I should say this upcoming week because it's the weekend. Happy Stack and Saturday. Bullish pennant formation sensation. And checking out the daily. The daily chart says it's going up forever, Nipinator. Give us the next indicator. Yeah, here you go. No particular bull targets here, but definitely looking bullish. It's been, obviously, this has been a hell of a week. All-time highs, price discovery, and currently 112 is the current top. Checking out the weekly, we do have a rising wedge and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green consecutive candles. Tomorrow we'll get that 7th candle close officially in the books. We have a rising wedgie, the only wedgie I approve of, and we do have a bull scenario. Sitting at 124, a sexy cup and handle. Send it. And zooming out a little further from there, checking out the monthly as we're fast approaching the end of May. Obviously, this month has been very bullish, already more bullish than the previous month of April, but April was pretty significant. And then the 2 prior months prior was corrective, but now that we have entered Q2, it's been pretty bullish. I think the bulls have obviously returned. Let me know what you think, where the price action will likely take us next, especially this upcoming week. Next story of the day, now we got the TA out of the way. Next headline here reads, Trump's use of presidential seal at the meme coin event raises legal questions. Oh no, Trumpster, they're coming for you. President Trump is facing scrutiny in the balcony. What was that film? Scrutiny in the Balcony? Or something like that? Some old school. But anyways, after speaking at the private event for the top investors to his Trump meme coin, while standing behind a lectern emblazoned with official presidential seal, a move that may violate the federal law. The event took place Thursday at the Trump National Golf Club in Virginia, where Trump addressed 220 investors. That's ironic. I think that's a foreshadowing that $220,000 Bitcoin price is in play. Send it. And according to the U.S. law, the presidential seal cannot be used in any manner that could imply government approval or sponsorship. Violators can face fines of up to 6 months in prison. Jeez. Trump, who arrived at the club aboard the military chopper, praised attendees and took aim at the Biden administration's crypto stance. Take that, Biden admin. And when asked about the potential conflicts of interest, the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt said the president's involvement was personal. It is not a White House dinner, she told reporters. It's not taking place here at the White House, so it's a personal gig. This wasn't the first time Trump was featured with the presidential seal at his private properties. Forbes previously reported the use of golf markers at several Trump-owned clubs. People have too much time on their hands, yo. In May 22nd, a letter to the Justice Department, 35 House members asked the Public Integrity Section, Acting Chief Edward Sullivan, to launch an inquiry over the meme coin dinner to determine whether it violated federal bribery statute or the Foreign Emoluments Clause, oh my God, of the U.S. Constitution. Under the Emoluments Clause, the U.S. president is barred from accepting any gift from a foreign state without the approval of Congress. And here's a picture of the Trump dinner, I guess one of the attendees took a picture of. Let me know if that's a 5-star meal in your opinion. I dig the carrots and I forget what vegetable that is there. I'd go with the carrots. I obviously wouldn't touch the meat or I don't know what the hell is on that plate, to be quite honest. It looks like a piece of fish, actually, with a thing of potatoes and some gravy. Interesting. But anyways, Bloomberg reported the majority of the attendees at the meme coin dinner were likely foreign nationals based on their connections to the crypto exchanges, quoting them here. U.S. law prohibits foreign persons from contributing to U.S. political campaigns, according to the letter. However, the Trump meme coin, including the promotion of the dinner promising exclusive access to the president, opens the door for foreign governments to buy influence with the president, all without disclosing their identities. For example, Justin Sun was one of the attendees. Trump's embrace of the crypto marks a sharp turn from his skepticism during his first term as POTUS. The Trump meme coin launched earlier in the year, peaking at $74.34 before falling to $14.44 2 days ago on May 22nd. High-profile guests at the dinner included Tron founder, billionaire Justin Sun, ex-NBA player Lamar Odom, and Asian crypto executive Sanrak O, and Vincent Liu. Whoever the hell those two guys are, you tell me. Sun, who reportedly invested over $40 million in Trump tokens, jeez Louise, spoke at the dinner. Also has deep ties to the Trump crypto ventures, probably looking for some political favors. I mean, how else could you justify this? Putting $40 million in the shit coin. It's kind of funny. But yeah, and he's also a top backer of the World Liberty Financial, the Trump affiliated firm. I would assume if like Bankman-Fried wasn't in prison, he would have been at that meeting as well, getting his favor on. But you guys let me know your thoughts. Personally, I think Trump should just stick with Bitcoin, remove himself from the meme coin and all the other bullshit, because It's going to drag his name down, personally, in my opinion. No different than Javier Milei with his fucking Libra rug. You know what I mean? I have no respect for that guy anymore after that rug pull. And Trump coin wasn't as much of a rug pull. It didn't go to zero or nothing. It's still at $14. But at the end of the day, it's really not a good look. And if you're not financially benefiting from it, Trump, in which you claim you're not, why even associate your name with it? Why? I don't get that part. Like, do you really need NFT collection? Do you really need, your own platform? Do you really need your own cryptocurrency? Does your wife, Melania coin, did she really need her own meme coin? Like, just fucking promote Bitcoin like Bukele. And, you know what I mean? Simple. Next up. Let's discuss a little more positivity. Semler Scientific boosts their Bitcoin holdings with a $50 million purchase. That's right. The medical device company purchased $50 million worth of Bitcoin between May 13th and the 22nd, bringing the market value of the company's Bitcoin holdings to $474 million, keeping it within the top 13 of the Bitcoin treasury companies. And according to the May 23rd disclosure, Semler bought a total of 455 BTC for an average purchase price of $109,800. They bought the top. Respect. The buy of the Bitcoin, Semler used proceeds from an at-the-market stock offering program. And so far, the company has sold roughly 3 million shares of common stock for net proceeds of 115 milli. Semler Scientific shares have fallen 1% on the same day as disclosure, though the decrease of the sharp price is largely in line with the NASDAQ performance. That index, which follows top tech stocks, is down 1% on the day. You can see they're trading at $44.32. Let me know if any of you got exposure to this particular stock. Now, in Q1 2025, their earnings report, the company revealed 44% drop in revenue year over year, despite the claimed success of the Bitcoin treasury plan. Semler Scientific shares have dropped 18% thus far this year. Bitcoin treasury companies that traditionally sell equity or issue debt to buy Bitcoin have been drawing the interest of investors looking for exposure to the Bitcoin price fluctuations. Michael Saylor's strategy debuted its Bitcoin reserve back in August of 2020, first publicly traded company to do so. When it started purchasing Bitcoin, Bitcoin is up 181% year to date. Not too shabby, while Semler Scientific shares rose 53% since announcing the Bitcoin approach back in May of 2024. So there you have it. And as I mentioned earlier, you also have Jack Mallers' company, which is a Bitcoin acquisition company, a Bitcoin treasury company. They say they could raise billions of dollars to buy 1 million Bitcoin. I have no doubt in my mind they'll actually do that because they have the ability to do so. And again, it's backed by the likes of these multi-billion dollar firms. So game on. Next story of the day, broskies. Regarding the Texas bill, you should be able to see on your screen. Texas Governor signals support for the Bitcoin Reserve Bill. That's right. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, the abbot of the Shaolin Temple, has signaled support for the bill recently passed by the state House Representatives that would establish a strategic crypto reserve. That's right. The Texas state lawmakers' efforts to create a Bitcoin reserve, the story pointed out, the decision for the passage, SB 21, the bill in question, now rests on Abbott's shoulders. Roughly 3 months after it was introduced, since taking office, Abbott referred to himself as the crypto law proposal supporter in 2021, suggesting he would support policies to establish Texas as a crypto capital in 2024. Texas was one of a handful of state-level governments that proposed setting up a strategic crypto reserve after the 2024 federal elections. Now, on May 6th, New Hampshire, Governor Kelly Ayotte, let's give her a round of applause, gentlemen, was the first to sign the Bitcoin Reserve Bill into law. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs later approved the law, allowing the state to claim ownership of the unclaimed crypto, but then some jurisdictions rebuffed efforts to pass similar legislation, with roughly half of the 50 state governments considering a Bitcoin reserve. Now, at the federal level, U.S. President Trumpster signed the executive order back in March for the strategic Bitcoin reserve and a digital asset stockpile, but Congress have not codified the order as of May 23rd. Wyoming Senator Ms. Lummis has led efforts in the chamber to pass the Boosting Innovation, Technology, and Competitiveness through the Optimized Investment Nationwide Bitcoin Act, reintroduced a few days after Trump's executive order. And as of March 11th, the bill has been referred to the Senate Banking Committee, and it was unclear if or when the chamber would consider a vote. The Senate will likely first move forward, will debate on the bill to regulate the payment stablecoins, the Genius Act, with some lawmakers anticipating a vote by Memorial Day, which is literally this Monday, I believe, May 26th. And if you don't know, Now you know. Okay, next story of the day. We got two more. I promise we're going to get to them. Here we go. Next story of the day. Regarding the ETF flows and then the 1.25 billion 40x long. So the Bitcoin ETFs post 2.75 billion in the weekly inflows. As the price sits, well, we're a little higher now, currently 109 at the time of the live. May 23rd, the final day of the trading week on the spot bid ETFs, recorded 211.7 million worth of the inflows. BlackRock's iBit was the only fund to post gains in that trading day, adding 430 million. BlackRock taking over the world. Actually, they genuinely do control the entire world's financial market, if you haven't figured that out by now. Hence why they're the largest asset manager in the world, with over like 11 trillion, maybe even 12 trillion of assets under management. But anyways, Grayscale's GBTC led outflows with 89.2 million, followed by ARK 21 shares with 73.9 milli. 2 days before May 21st, the Bitcoin ETF saw 607 million in inflows. Same day, Bitcoin surpassed 109 for the first time. And the following day, Bitcoin recorded the all-time high, which is currently 112 even on Coinbase. Just FYI, if you didn't know, now you know. Bitcoin's slight price decline over the past 24 hours came, and the crypto market sentiment, you know, the crypto greed and fear index has been back on the rise. We already touched upon that. Crypto analysts, Crypto Dan said overheating indicators such as the funding rate and short-term capital inflow remain low compared to the previous peaks, and the profit taken by the short-term investors limited. And if you don't know, now you know. And again, welcome everyone to the live stream. All right, the moment you've all been waiting for. Hyperliquid trader James Wynn goes all in on $1.25 billion biddy long. That's right, don't take my word for it. Let me show you the proof of work. Let's start right here. Shout out Vivek, by the way. 1.2 billion. The 40x Bitcoin whale James Wynn just said Bitcoin is going to 121,000 next week. So he firmly believes next leg up. And next week ultimately is this upcoming week, as it's stacking Saturday on the weekend. Here's James Wynn, infamous tweet. 110,500 today for Biddy. 118 to 121 next week. My prediction, not financial advice. We call this Operation Fuck the Bears. Take that, Peter Schiffmeister. But yeah, let's read this a little deeper. And this is actually balls of steel. You got to respect it. Well-known Hyperliquid trader James Wynn had increased his 40x leverage long Bitcoin bet to $1.25 billion after closing his PEPE position for a $25.2 million profit. So Look On Chain reported that Wynn entered at an 11,588 Bitcoin position, again, balls of steel, with an average entry price of 108 and a liquidation level of 105. That's the caveat when trading with leverage. The higher that leverage goes, the less and less volatility will get you liquidated. And ultimately, that's $3,000 or $4,000 from today's price action, and he's risking 11,588 Bitcoin. Extreme balls of steel, I might add. The move came hours after Wynn exited his Ether and Sui longs, smart man, at 5.3 million loss. He took the loss there. At the time, he used proceedings to double down on Bitcoin, increasing his position to 11,070 BTC. Wynn began his Bitcoin long position with 830 million. That was the initial position on May 21st. Which was 3 days ago. Then he continued up in it, trimming 400 million in profits the same day. Then by May 22nd, the following day, he ramped up the position back to 1.1 billion. Another divine omen, my special number 11 there. Hodl in high leverage as Bitcoin crossed 110,000, hitting the all-time high. He gained 39 million on paper and later sold 540 Bitcoin for 60 million. So he already secured a 1.5 million profit. And here's some of the proof of work right here. Entry price, 40x long, and just disclaimer, if you're going to trade with leverage, do so responsibly, as the majority of leverage traders are degens and will absolutely get wrecked. This guy obviously is not a novice. He's a billionaire for a reason. So don't just blindly follow what these guys are doing, okay? I just want to give you some insights there. Wynn took a hit following the sharp market downturn triggered by the former President Trump's announcement. Obviously, that 50% tariff on the European Union imports did not help that particular position. The news delivered just yesterday sent Bitcoin tumbling, oh my God, all the way down to 107, and erased gains across both traditional and crypto markets. Ether also dropped to as low as 2,500, while the meme coins were hit harder. Data from Hyperscan shows Wynn suffered more than 29 million in losses over the past day. However, he's still up more than 57 million in all-time trading, and you can't win them all. Note that as a trader, by the way. And 46 million over the past month alone. So more into the high stakes crypto trader. Wynn is a high stakes trader who describes himself as high risk leverage trader in a meme coin maxi. He also claims to have called PEPE a buy when the market cap was only 600,000. So obviously got rich there as well. The crypto whale started using Hyperliquid 2 months ago, which is the platform, depositing 4.6 million worth of stablecoin USDC onto the platform. Hyperliquid's decentralized platform is a flagship product on the Hyperliquid Layer 1 blockchain, which also offers spot trading and borrowing and lending services, amongst other things. Notably, Wynn's aggressive leverage amplifies his exposure to volatility. With Bitcoin trading near 109, any sharp move downward could threaten the position. And again, as mentioned here, he's ultimately calling for this week coming up 118 to 121. It'll be a fantastic win for him. Ironic enough for the man, Mr. Wynn. And there you have it. Do you think he'll likely win that or get liquidated? It's probably going to be one or the other. He either hits the target or gets liquidated. Either way, you guys let me know your thoughts. And would you ever, let's hypothetically say you were a billionaire, would you ever risk 11,000 Bitcoin on a 40x long? I'm curious. Let me know, and I'll read your comments out loud. Welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream.